Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of We Don't Know What to Name This Show. So, we are still taking the polls, and I would also request you guys to share your feedback in the comments below or give your suggestions for this particular show. So, this talk show is for those of you who have got questions to ask, and cause answering them in comments is not going to be justice to your questions. For that reason, every week, me and my team are going to pick up three questions for which we are going to do an entire video to answer those questions. Okay. Now, these questions can be asked to me using the link that I'm going to share in this video's description. You can also follow us on Instagram because that is where your questions can be asked again. And the third and the best way is to obviously use the comment section on our YouTube video to drop your questions. So, with these three ways, we are going to keep a track of your questions, and my team is going to select the three best questions every week, and one of the question winner is going to win a T20 session with me, and that is going to be with him for lifetime. So, irrespective, while making a buying decision or after making the decision, also if you need any sort of guidance, my phone number is going to be available for you on a hotline. So, make sure to use this features very, very wisely and ask as many questions as possible. So, let's start with this episode. And we are still naming this episode, so I don't know what to call this as of now. But please share those suggestions in the comments as well. So, with me today, for the voice of your questions, I've got Abhishek. And Abhishek, let's start with the questions, please.
So Dr. Tyson Job asks, how does the optical engine of the projector gets damaged? Can you provide information on the same? A topic rarely spoken about.
Uh, wow. So, yes, Dr. Dyson. I mean, I know for a fact that very few people talk about the repairs and the maintenance of the electronic products, while most of them talk about, the new products, the product comparison, etc. Now, we have done some few videos wherein we have discussed about how to use projectors, how to do projector setups, what are the challenges that are there in a projector, as well as we did an exclusive video wherein we explained each and every component that is inside the projector. So make sure, Tyson, to use this particular video to get more clarity on the product repair part of it. At the same time, to answer your question, okay, on the optical engine of the projector. So typically, an optical engine is the main engine which runs the projector. It's like the engine, just the way amplifier is an engine to drive your speakers, the optical engine is to drive your projector. Now, optical engine can be damaged due to two ways. Number one is when the air filter is not cleaned regularly, it is going to accumulate dust inside, and that is going to damage the optical engine. The second reason for optical engine damage can be overheat of the projector with no exhaust provision, as well as misalignment of the panels inside due to certain accident of or manhandling of the projector. So these two reasons can damage the optical engine of the projector, due to which you will either see some spots on the projector, which is typically in, let's say, if it's an LCD projector, you will have a cyan or a magenta color line or a drop or a dot on it. Similarly, in a DLP projector, you might have a green spot or a red spot or a blue spot on the projector. The moment you start seeing these spots, you will realize that the optical engine of the projector is getting damaged, and that is the time when you need to start placing a call with the authorized service center to get your projector repaired. Now, typically, most of the home theater projector brands have got 2 years warranty on the optical engines. So make sure that if it's within the 2 years warranty, you will get it you will get this optical engine repaired for free. If it's not, you may have to pay a lot of money on the repair of this product. Now, one of the common symptoms, apart from these dots and the lines on the screen, is that whenever optical engine gets damaged, the brightness on the screen is going to start fading. And this can be marginally seen through your naked eyes, and that is where you can get another indication of either servicing your projector or changing the optical engine. So I hope this question is answered for Dr. Tyson and to all of others who need more and more content about optical engine on projectors. Next question, Abhishek.
So Karthi asked, which brand offer good service in India for AV receiver repair or service from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, like Denon Marantz, Onkyo Pioneer or Yamaha?
Wow. Now that's very, very difficult, Karthi, to answer, because I'll tell you something. Okay, all the brands that you mentioned, they have got good service centers. Now these service centers will vary from city to city because it's not directly the brand who is taking care of the service. It's their appointed service centers who have got the capabilities and the team and the required set up infrastructure to repair your products. Now Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I know you're talking about covering the whole country. The good part is most of the brands have got their presence on for authorized service centers in most of the urban cities of our country. So yes, even if you are in Jammu, you have got service centers. If you are in Chandigarh, you have got service centers. In Delhi, Indore, Jaipur, Jodhpur, most of these places have been covered with service centers. Though these service centers may not be necessarily present in the rural or the second tier segment of the cities. So that is still a effort which will take more time and more number of years. But which brand does that? Well, all the brand as of now is having that, but it will again depend upon which city you are living in, because there are certain service centers in certain cities which are not really that great. They are a little slow in operations. Plus, the dependency upon the primary importer is pretty high for getting the spare part. It's not the service center which is getting the parts directly imported. It's the distributor of that brand or the importer of that brand who is primarily procuring the spare parts and supplying it to these distributors. So it may happen that the importer of a particular brand that you have just asked for may not have that capacity to import, or probably is not getting the material with the current shortage. So due to these, you might face some challenges. But if I have to just honestly answer you this question, I would say Marantz, Yamaha are still two of the best brands to have a mass coverage of service centers across India. Third would be Denon. For Onkyo and Pioneer, because the distributor in the Indian markets is new, he has tied up with a good chain of service centers. Though less material availability and less service calls, there has not been much of testing. So I won't be able to comment on Onkyo and Pioneer. But for the rest of the brands, I gave you the priority: Marantz, Yamaha, Denon. That's how the list would be. I hope, Karthi, you get the answer by in this particular video. The next question, Abhishek.
So Sutralytics asked that your thoughts on using a tar for center channel and running it full band. This is contrary to conventional practice, but very few experts, including REL, subscribe to setting all speakers to large. Also, I would look at the frequency response of the center speaker before setting crossovers.
Absolutely. So we have actually done a video, Sutra Lesics. So that's his YouTube channel. So I'm calling you by that name. So Sutra Lesics, we have done a video wherein we have actually spoken about the center speakers crossover setup. So make sure to check that after this particular video. And to those of you who have got the similar question, whether you can use a floor standing speaker as your center speaker. Now, typically what happens is, the reason why you don't see that as a common practice, because the manufacturers of these speakers sell the floor standing speakers in pair. Now, because you have got three speakers in the front, that is front left, front right, and center, it is not in the even numbers. And for that reason, putting a floor standing speaker in the center would be a challenge to most of them, because nobody is going to get only one speaker individually to be used as the center speaker. And that is why in most of the scenarios you will see only the towers or the floor standing being used for the left and right, and the center one being a horizontal block on the cabinet. So yes, full a floor standing speaker with full frequency range can be a fantastic center speaker. Whether you can use that, if you are able to get the product as a single floor standing speaker unit, go and buy it and do it. Just make sure that all these three speakers are aligned at the same height, because the tweeters need to be matched. Same thing is for the LCRs. Even when you put in wall or on wall LCR on the wall behind your screen, the three speakers tweeter need to be on the same line. So the LCR on the wall, when you use them, they are pretty much of the same model, same series. You can do that with floor standing as well. Only thing is, procuring or sourcing that product in individual units can become a challenge. And if you're able to crack that, or strike a deal with a supplier of yours, I think that would solve the purpose, and you would be able to get a fantastic center speaker. Now, whether using large as a format for all the speakers would work, that completely depends upon the room acoustics and the subwoofers that you're pairing it with. If at all you have got a good thumping bass like a JL Acoustics or Rail Acoustics, Velodyne, SVS, these brand subwoofers, then honestly, I would say just do a trial and error, because I would still want the low frequencies to come only and only from the bass. or from these subs and use the other speakers with a frequency cutoff at 80 or 100 hertz, they would still sound perfectly well. If you blend it with large, then what is going to happen is the subwoofers low and the floor standings low are going to come together, in which case you will not get probably the right punch that you desire in a home theater. So I hope Sutra Lysics you get your answers with this particular video again. And that brings us to the closure of 3 questions in our first episode of the talk show that we have just started. And if you found this particular interesting, make sure to hit the like button in order to let YouTube as well as other people know. At the same time, as I said at the start of the video, if you have got more questions to ask, make sure to check the description very, very carefully, because I am going to share a link with you to drop your questions to us through Google form using your city, your phone number, and your name, etc. At the same time, you can drop them on Instagram, where we are quite active and we would be having team over there to track all this question of yours. And third, the best way is also to drop your comments as questions, and we would be shortlisting amongst them as well. So I hope that this video brings value to you. Now, before we end, we need to select a winner. And what do you think, Abhishek? Just tell me a number. Like, don't announce. Just show me your fingers. Like 1, 2, 3. Which one would you select? Okay. So Abhishek says 2. That is Mr. Karthi. So Karthi's question was, which is the fantastic brand for servicing across India, that is from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So for that reason, Karthi, you are getting a free T20 call with me. Make sure to use that wisely. You are going to get a link for that in your comments. So check out your comment that you shared with us, and that will have a link wherein you can schedule that session with me, and you will have that hotline connection with me forever. So with that, I come to an end. I hope this new talk show format is exciting for all of you, and let the questions come in, guys, because we would try and do as much as possible to answer each and everybody's queries. In case your questions are not answered, we will still be running them across stories and post on the Instagram platform. So still you will get your answers. If not in the talk show format, you will still get it in the post or the Instagram stories format. So that's it from my end. I and Abhishek would like to say thank you to all of you for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next episode that is going to release in the next week. So this is going to be a weekly show. Make sure to stay subscribed and click the notifications on. We are going to see you all again on the next Wednesday. Thank you.